Mortgage rates are finally dropping. So can you predict when these rate changes happen? That's what we're going to talk about in today's show. We're finally beginning to see mortgage rates dropping after their peak near 8%. This figure is more than double the average of 3.72% back in January of 2020. And although this drop of around 1.5% is great news for anyone looking to buy real estate, many potential investors are still left wondering, hey, are we still better right now if we hold out for even lower interest rates down the line? If you're a real estate investor, great question. Now, although you might think it's wise to wait for lower rates to occur, trying to time the market can really be tricky, and it rarely pays off. Multiple sources, including the National Association of Realtors and the Mortgage Bankers Association, expect rates to drop to around 6% by the fourth quarter of 2024. Okay, so a whole year away. If you're watching this at the end of 2023, you could expect that for a whole year, right? But here's the thing about waiting for interest rates to drop. Investors and home buyers alike should realize that there's a chance rates might not fall that much, and it's very likely that the historical low rates of 2019 and 2020 are just that, a thing of the past. We are never going back to the 3 to 4% interest rates. I mean, I cannot see that happening for many, many years, if ever again. You might be waiting around for decades for that to happen. There's absolutely zero guarantee that rates or prices are going to drop significantly. So here are a few things you need to consider about buying real estate as we enter 2024. Number one, if you buy real estate now and rates drop lower later on, will you be able to refinance? This is an honest question, and I want you to consider this. Run the numbers on it. How much would rates need to fall for it to be worth it to you? What would the closing costs look like, right? You're going to pay closing costs because it'll be a new loan if you refinance it, right? So you can never go back in time and renegotiate the price that you pay on real estate, right? If you buy the home for, $250,000, you can't enter get in your flux capacitor and your DeLorean and go back in time and of course pay less later on. You can't do it. But guess what? You can adjust the rate through refinancing later on. So the question becomes, is it worth it? Considering this point can help you determine if you should buy now or later and how much the interest rate matters to you. Number two, what is the cost of waiting? Now, if you put off investing for another year or two, how will that impact your long-term goals? Will it inhibit you from reaching your financial freedom number in a timely manner? If you sit back, you need to get 5 or 6 rental properties to hit your financial freedom number so that you can retire from your job, travel more with your family, all of those things. Well, now you're going to wait a whole year for an interest rate to drop a little bit. So you're really pushing off reaching your financial freedom number, and it's not going to allow you to get there in a timely manner. Will it change your plans for retirement? This is totally dependent on you and your goals, but it's something that you absolutely should consider. And number three, how would a potential drop in rates affect housing prices, and would that matter to you at all? We know that if rates drop, prices will rise, right? So everyone's like, oh, let's wait for the rates to drop a little bit. Oh, great. Now the prices are going to go back up because you're going to have bidding wars. And of course, the demand is off the charts right now for real estate. So just that little bit of drop in interest rates and the floodgates open. All of those people that were sitting back, the pent-up demand, flood the market. The prices of properties go up. You get into bidding wars. And of course, depending on what source you look at, home prices are projected to rise somewhere between 2 to 5% this coming year. So how is this going to impact your willingness to invest? And number four, and lastly, what would be the perfect conditions in which you would invest? Like, is there a scenario where you can sit back and say, honey, if it hits this perfect number, that's when we will invest? Have you guys figured that out? Or are you sort of just sitting there reading CNBC headlines and kind of arbitrarily saying, I'm going to wait. Now I'm going to jump in. I'm going to wait. Again, as we just talked about, we can expect prices to rise if rates fall. So in that scenario, would you want to invest later when you'll pay more for the property? So trying to get market conditions just right is a tricky game to play, and that's why I don't play it. Personally, I just invest in real estate over and over and over again, and I don't give a rat's behind what the interest rates look like. If the numbers make sense, then I invest. Like I said, Natalie and I just bought 4 properties. We're buying more as we speak. I don't care what the interest rates are because I don't want those prices going up later on, and I want to be in the market, not timing the market. And most of all, if your brain is looking for justifications not to take action, you will find them, right? If you want to talk yourself out of anything, you will find a way to talk yourself out of anything. So you can blame it on interest rates, you can blame it on other reasons. Most people blame it on interest rates because that's easy and convenient, right? It's like when you suddenly have a baby for the first time and you don't want to go to that party that someone's invited you to. Now you've got a child, you can use that as the excuse. No, we have a baby. We can't make it because we have a baby. No, we can't go to that party on Saturday night. We have a baby, right? You will find ways to talk yourself out of things, and you will use these convenient excuses. Interest rates are a convenient excuse. So ask yourself, what conditions would make me feel secure enough to invest? And then ask yourself if those conditions are likely in your lifetime. Well, honey, we're going to invest when interest rates hit 3% once again. Oh, okay, great. So never? Because that's not going to happen. So when you look at it from this perspective, you may decide that now is the right time to invest, or you might find that maybe investing isn't for you after all. Maybe you'd rather, just use a 401k and continue down that path. And that's a perfectly understandable way to respond, that no, investing isn't for you, and you'd rather just go through the normal structures that the government sets up with a 401k plan. But the savviest investors I know, they buy real estate and they buy it in every market cycle, the ups and the downs, all of it. This is because they understand the 4 streams of income that real estate provides, and they're investing as a long-term strategy. Only you can decide if now is the right time for you to invest. But I hope this video gave at least you some perspectives to consider when trying to navigate the market. Sit down with your spouse, your partner, and say, when would be the right condition for us to invest? What would the numbers have to look like in order for us to do that? For me personally, it's what is the internal rate of return going to look like on the property I'm buying? Not the interest rate. That's a factor, of course, but as long as the numbers still make sense in the investment, that's what I'm investing. The biggest takeaway is that waiting for rates to drop significantly could be a long waiting game. And if you're anticipating market conditions that may never come, you could be missing the opportunity to begin building wealth now. If you need help navigating the real estate market or deciding if right now is the right time for you to invest, I encourage you to schedule a free 30-minute call with my team. Our portfolio managers love helping investors like you take a broader look at the economy, putting together a customized plan for building wealth. Just go over to our website right now. It's morrisinvest.com. Click on the red book a call button and let us know when to give you a call. Please put in the correct phone number. Sometimes we have people put in the wrong phone number and they're waiting for our phone call and they wonder why we didn't call them. So please put in the correct phone number and also the correct email address, and we will call you at that time. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.